Good evening and welcome to RTM News. My name is Vicky Lee White and I'll be bringing you all your top stories tonight. Let's start with the South African headlines. ANC leadership disgusted by behavior of KZN members. Human trafficking case postponed to get a Aramaic translator. SA search and rescue team ready to leave Nepal. And Wits SRC president found guilty by kangaroo court. In the first story, ANC leadership disgusted by behavior of KZN members. The ANC in KwaZulu-Natal said yesterday it had taken a decision to tighten existing disciplinary processes and that any ANC member found disrupting an ANC gathering would be subjected to stringent disciplinary actions. In a statement sent by the Provincial Executive Committee, the party did not mince its words, saying, and I quote, "It was disgusted in the manner in which some of its members behaved during what was supposed to be the 6th eThekwini Regional Conference in Durban." Human trafficking case postponed to get Aramaic translator. Human trafficking case postponed to get Amharic translator. A foreign national accused of the human trafficking of 19 immigrants appeared in the Mankweng Magistrates Court in Limpopo yesterday. Teketal Shifaro, 27, an Ethiopian, made a brief appearance at the court where he's facing violation of immigration charges and 19 charges of facilitating human trafficking. Shifaro was not asked to plead but had charges read to him. He was arrested after police acted on a tip-off and raided a tuck shop in Men's Village, east of Polokwane. Police raided the tuck shop in the Sleepy Village and rescued at least 19 immigrants. It's alleged that the victims were transported at night from one operator to the other, but it is not clear what their fate would have been. SA search and rescue team ready to leave Nepal. The specialized South African research and rescue team that scrambled to aid earthquake-struck Nepal was scheduled to leave last night. The team, made up of paramedics, firefighters and urban search and rescue technicians, had been in the country for a week. The group, funded by humanitarian aid mission Gift of the Givers, had been stationed in Kathmandu and deployed to a rural village to assist with the rescue effort. Gift of the Givers Foundation spokesperson Ahmed Baum confirmed that the team would be flying out after their relief operation in Nepal had come to an end. The medical team would stay on an extra day and remain deployed to several hospitals that had a backlog of patients injured in the quake. In the final South African story, Wits SRC president found guilty by kangaroo court. Hitler admiring sacked the Wits University SRC president Mcebo Dlamini was found guilty by a kangaroo court for something that happened months ago, he told SABC News yesterday. I quote, "Last month I was found guilty of something that happened 1 year, 4 months ago, even when the students said they are not pressing any charges," he told SABC News. I quote, "That's why I'm saying I was found guilty by a kangaroo court for a crime that happened a very long time ago." That's all the South African news I have for you tonight, but do stay with us and I'll be right back.
As a woman in the army, you are called to stand your watch, to set yourself upon the rampart, and to see what God has to say unto you. This year, at the Feast of Esther in UK, the Lord is set to give you a new armor and to sharpen your weapons, to open your eyes and ears, and to increase your perception. Are you a First Lady, a female General Overseer, or a General Overseer's wife? Are you a female Head of Ministry or a Head of Ministry wife? If so, then the Feast of Esther has been uniquely designed for you. Feast of Esther 2015 Weekend Retreat. Theme, My Watch. Date, 8th to the 10th of May 2015. Venue, Sunningdale Park, Larch Avenue, Ascot, Berkshire. Registration per delegate is £200. This includes accommodation, 4 meals, a conference pack. For more information, please contact 020 8 558 0058 or send an email to adminuk@feastofesther.org, or you can visit our website www.feastofesther.org.uk.
Welcome back to RTM News. If you're just joining us, we're having a look at the rest of the African stories. In the headlines, donors pushing Tsvangirai to join Mujuru, Zim to import 700 tons of maize. Central African Republic group agreed to free all child soldiers, and Zim may lose title over nude photos. And the first story, donors pushing Tsvangirai to join Mujuru. Western donors are reportedly pushing opposition leader Morgan Tsvangirai to join hands with ousted Vice President Joyce Mujuru to dethrone President Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe's next elections. According to newszimbabwe.com, the donors called on Tsvangirai to unite with Mujuru or risk losing financial support. The report said donors were frustrated by Tsvangirai and his Movement for Democratic Change party's continued failure to dislodge Mugabe. I quote, exploratory talks are ongoing, but it seems Tsvangirai is in a quandary. He has indicated that he would not want to deputize anyone, a source was quoted as saying. The MBC, however, denied the reports, with party spokesperson Obert Gutu saying he is not aware of the move. Zim to import 700,000 tons of maize. Parts of southern Zimbabwe will suffer significant food shortages this season, the US-funded Famine Early Warning Systems Network warned yesterday. Some homes in rural areas in the south of the country have produced next to nothing, partly due to the late onset of rains and in a prolonged dry period. If no food aid is forthcoming, these households will likely be in crisis as early as July, the report said. President Robert Mugabe's government has acknowledged that this year's harvest of the staple maize crop is about half of last year's. It has dropped by 49%. Central African Republic groups agreed to free all child soldiers. Armed groups in the Central African Republic have agreed to release all child soldiers and children associated with their forces who may be used as cooks or messengers or for sexual purposes, the UN's children agency UNICEF said yesterday. The agreement, signed during a week-long National Reconciliation Forum in Bangui, covers an estimated 6,000 to 10,000 children currently associated with the armed factions, who also agreed to end any new child recruitment, UNICEF said. Zim may lose title over nude photos. Newly crowned Miss World Zimbabwe may lose her title over a nude photo scandal, a pageant spokesperson was quoted as saying yesterday. Financial advisor Emily Kachote, 25, sparked intense media interest when she was crowned Miss World Zimbabwe a week ago, not least because some Zimbabweans made no secret of the fact that they consider her ugly. Pictures said to be of the model naked and drunk surfaced this weekend on popular messaging platform WhatsApp. A former boyfriend claims he took the pictures, and Kachote has apparently confirmed they are of her. The organizers of the Miss World Zimbabwe pageant are not amused, particularly after last year's Miss World Zimbabwe Tabiso Piri resigned a month into her reign after pictures allegedly of her in the nude were found. And that's it for the African news. For now, we're going to go for a quick break and I'll be right back. Welcome back to RTM News. If you're just joining us, we're having a look at the Nigerian stories. In the headlines, we're not responsible for your loss, PDP tells GEJ. Reps reject removal of fuel subsidy, and 10 persons remanded in prison. In the first story, we're not responsible for your loss, PDP tells GEJ. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party has washed its hands off the defeat of President Goodluck Jonathan in the last presidential election, blaming it on what it described as the tactlessness of the president's hand-picked campaign team leader, led by Dr. Amadou Ali. The party directly blamed the hate campaign launched against the APC presidential candidate Mayor General Muhammadu Buhari for the defeat. In the next story, reps reject removal of fuel subsidy. Members of the House of Representatives yesterday unanimously rejected a motion seeking the removal of fuel subsidy. This was a sequel to a motion prompted by Rep. Sunday Karimi of the PDP Koke entitled, I quote, "The recurring crisis of fuel subsidy, which was killed on arrival by members of the House." Lawmakers in turn roundly condemned the motion, saying it is anti-people to remove fuel subsidy. 10 persons remanded in prison. And Ikeja High Court yesterday remanded in prison custody 9 men and 1 woman charged in connection with the Ejigbo Pepe sodomy. The 10 were brought to court over the torture, attempted murder and sodomy of 3 females accused of stealing pepper at Oba Marufo International Market in Ejigbo area of Lagos State. In an amended charge, the defendants were accused to have, at Oba Marufo International Market in Ejigbo, inserted a stick into the vagina of Nike Salami and Juliana Agomo. They also assaulted one Ajoke Agomo by stripping her naked, beating her up and rubbing pepper all over her body. According to the charge, the first defendant and 5th defendant unlawfully obtained the sum of 50,000 naira from one Fima Agomo with intent to defraud by falsely pretending that they said money would be paid to traders in the market whose pepper had been stolen. That's all the African news I have for you tonight. We're going to go for a quick break and I will be right back.
International Church Growth Service, Lagos and South Africa, in conjunction with Redemption Television Ministry, RTM, South Africa, presents Growth, a Healthy and Vibrant Church. Speaker, Dr. Francis Bola Akijon and Church Growth Team. Dates will be 28th to 30th May 2015, and the time 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Registration free, 100 rands. The venue is at Commercial Avenue, Streeton Park, Randburg, Johannesburg, South Africa. For further information, please call +27 11 025 4037 or email us on peacemakers.resources@yahoo.com. But grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. To him be glory both now and forever. See you there.
Welcome back to RTM News. If you're just joining us, we're having a look at the international stories. In the headlines, dozens die as migrant boat sinks in Mediterranean. Mother shot saving 2 of her children. 4 arrested after discovery of Thai detention camp. An Ethiopian Israeli soldier beaten by police. And the first story, dozens die as migrant boat sinks in Mediterranean. Dozens of migrants have drowned in the Mediterranean after a boat carrying an estimated 137 people sank south of Sicily, Save the Children said. The aid group says survivors reported up to 40 people fell into the sea as a rescue vessel was approaching. The survivors arrived in the city of Catania yesterday. At least 1,750 people have died this year trying to cross the Mediterranean, a 20-fold increase in the same period in 2014. Giovanna Di Benedetto, Save the Children's representative in Catania, said the latest sinking is thought to have happened over the weekend, but the exact toll was not known. Mother shot saving 2 of her children. Erin Stoffel shuffled her 7-year-old son Ezra and 5-year-old daughter Sela off a pedestrian bridge in Menasha, Wisconsin after a gunman randomly opened fire, killing her husband and her 11-year-old daughter. She did this while taking 3 bullets. I quote, "You can never underestimate the power of a mother to protect her children. To have 3 gunshot wounds and be able to get off that bridge and save 2 of her children is incredible to think about," Dr. Ray Georgian at Theda Clark Medical Center in Nina said on Monday. It's an amazing story of heroism on her part and certainly of her children, but Stoffel's quick actions weren't enough to save her daughter Olivia and her husband Jonathan, 33. Adam Bethdahl, 31, an unrelated Appleton man, also died. 4 arrested after discovery of Thai detention camp. 4 people, including 3 local officials, have been arrested following the discovery of a detention camp containing human remains in southern Thailand, Thai police say. Authorities said 26 bodies have been recovered from the grave since the camp was discovered in Sadao district of Songkhla province, an area near the Malaysian border considered a trafficking hub. Police General Ek Ang Sananont said that 3 suspects, 2 deputy village chiefs and a municipal official had been arrested, as well as a Rohingya man from Myanmar. He told CNN the men were acting as camp managers and middlemen. And in the final story tonight, Ethiopian Israeli soldier beaten by police. The Ethiopian Jewish soldier at the center of a viral beating video that has sparked protests across Israel says the support of the anti-racism demonstrations, but condemns the violent clashes that erupted. Demas Fikadeh, 21, told CNN he was a block away from his house in Holon, a suburb of Tel Aviv, when he tried to cross the street. Fikadeh says an officer stopped him from crossing, then grabbed his bike and cell phone. Fikadeh said he urged the police officer not to use force, but by then another officer had joined in. The video shows the 2 officers push him to the ground and hold him down for approximately 1 minute before allowing him to stand up. The entire incident is caught on a nearby security camera, but the video has no sound. That's all the news I have for you tonight, but just stay with us as we're crossing over to Adelani for the sports.
Ke mo Afrika Borwa ke re nya ka xenophobia.
Ke mo Afrika Borwa tlohelang ho bolaya tlohelang xenophobia.
I am South African. Stop xenophobia.
Oh, how many times have I broken your heart? Still you forgive. If only I asked. And how many times have you heard me pray? Draw me to everything I need is you, my beginning, my forever.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to everybody. You're currently watching RTM Sports News with me, Adelani Oguriade. These are tonight's top stories. In African football news, Africa's richest man wants to buy Arsenal Football Club in England. In more African football news, SuperSport signed 3 players. In our international football news bulletin tonight, Juventus beats Real Madrid in the Champions League. In boxing news, Manny Pacquiao sued after shoulder injury dishonesty claims. In tennis news, Andy Murray Munich Open victory gives Britain first clay court title. Starting with our top African football story, Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, is reportedly interested in becoming the next owner of Arsenal Football Club. I still hope one day at the right price that I'll buy the team, Dangote said in an interview this week as he traveled on a plane owned by one of his companies between the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa and the Nigerian commercial hub of Lagos. I might buy it, not at a ridiculous price, but a price that the owners won't want to resist. I know my strategy, he added. In PSL news, SuperSports United coach Gordon Egerton says the club have signed 3 very good players towards their bid for league glory next season. The four-time PSL champion, however, would not reveal the identity of their recruits. Next year, we will be challenging for the league, and right now I got 3 players coming in and all of them have been finalized, Egerson said. Super Sports have been linked with Buroka Swallows playmaker Lerato Chabangu, as well as Kaiser Chiefs defensive linchpin Tefu Mashemaite. Both men are under contract until June. Switching our attention now to international football news. Juventus will travel to Real Madrid with a 1-goal lead in the Champions League semi-final second leg after grinding out a deserved home victory. Juve went ahead when Alvaro Morata slotted in against his old club after Carlos Tevez's effort was spilled. Real leveled when Cristiano Ronaldo nodded in James Rodriguez's cross. But the holders looked out of sorts and slipped behind again as Dani Carvajal tripped Tevez after the break and the Argentine got up to score the spot kick. The game ended 2-1 to Juventus. In boxing news, Manny Pacquiao is the subject of a lawsuit in Nevada after being accused of lying over a shoulder injury sustained before his fight against Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas. The Nevada Athletics Commission, NAC, says Pacquiao did not declare the injury on a pre-fight questionnaire, but the fighter says he was transparent and a treatment plan had been agreed. 2 people in Nevada have alleged the boxer defrauded ticket buyers, television viewers, and gamblers. They have opened lawsuits just hours after the NAC accused the fighter of being dishonest. If the Filipino is found guilty of that charge, the penalty for perjury could be a jail sentence of between 1 and 4 years and a fine of up to $5,000. And lastly, tennis news. Britain's Andy Murray has won his first clay court title with a 7-6, 5-7, 7-6 victory over German Philipp Kohlschreiber in the Munich Open final. It was the 32nd ATP title of the Scots' career as it prepares for the French Open at the end of the month. Now that's all we have tonight. Recapping our top stories, Africa's richest man wants to buy Arsenal Football Club. In more African football news, Super Sports signed 3 players. In our international football news tonight, Juventus beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. And in boxing news, Manny Pacquiao sued after shoulder injury dishonesty claims. In tennis news, Andy Murray Munich Open victory gives Britain first clay court title. In our sports guide today, Pep Guardiola faces the monster he created as Barcelona face Bayern Munich. The game will start at 9 p.m. Make sure you don't forget to watch, and I'll be back reporting on the results of that game and much more in the world of sport. But for now, it's a good night from me, Adelani Oguriende. Let's cross over back to Vicky Lee White.
Thank you very much, Adelani, for the sports update. Let's have a look at the weather. news we have for you here tonight at RTM News. From me, Vicky Lee White, have a lovely evening and we'll see you again tomorrow.